Hello, everyone. I'm Robert Pierson, and welcome to the show where we spotlight a student, feature a teacher, or interview a person in the industry. And this is Tech Talk. My guest today is former host of AMC's Comic Book Men, producer, actor, and co-owner of a shared universe podcasting network and Coral Sword, Ming Chen. Welcome to the show, and thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you. It's a huge honor being here on Tech Talk with you.
It's a pleasure to have you. All right. So the first thing that I wanted to ask you is, how did you get your start in this industry? You seem to have so many passions. Where did it all begin?
That's a great question. My path to this industry was not really a straightforward one. I started out as a fan. I was a fan of Kevin Smith movies, a fan of Marvel movies. I was a fan of comic books. And I just kind of channeled all that into what I love doing, which was, sitting behind computers, creating things like websites and, internet content. And basically, I was a huge fan of the movie Clerks, which Kevin Smith made in 1994.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, I channeled my fandom of Clerks into creating a fan website. And 2 months after I created that website, Kevin Smith himself saw it, tracked me down, and he asked me to call him.
Wow.
And I called him. He said he loved what I did. Asked me if I could build more websites for him. Ended hiring me full time. I had to move to New Jersey, and I found out I love New Jersey. And he took me to places that I never thought I would go. So we started podcasting, did a lot of internet content, and I somehow wound up on a TV show that he created called Comic Book Men. So just by I went from fan to super fan to employee to being on a TV show. So for anybody out there, stay a fan of whatever you're doing. Weird things might happen.
When it comes to comic books, tell me about how you came to love comics, and do you believe they have had an impact on your career?
That's also a great question. I got into comic books when I was 6 years old. One of my classmates had an extra copy of Avengers number 214, and he gave it to me. And I read the thing cover to cover. I loved that thing. I read it 100 times. I fell in love with characters like Captain America, Iron Man, and I fell in love with the villains as well, like Ghost Rider and Thanos. And that definitely had a huge impact on my career. I started reading comic books, one after the other since then. And, back then it wasn't as cool to be a comic book fan. Fast forward to now, I'm the cool kid in the room now.
Very mainstream nowadays.
Yeah, it was crazy. I had people, kids made fun of me back in the day, called me a nerd or saying comics are for kids. But now those same people are stopping me at parties going, hey, that thing that happened in that movie, is that canon? Did that really happen in the comic book? And I'm like, sit down, let me tell you a story. So, no matter what you like, even if people make fun of you for it, keep loving it because eventually you'll be the cool kid.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Let's talk about your podcasting career. How did you become a podcaster pretty much? How did it all start?
Man, so I started podcasting way back in 2010. So going to, about 14, 15 years now. And I feel very fortunate for that because I started relatively early. Yeah. And I got to give all credit to Kevin Smith. We're going to hear his name a lot because he's been a major influence on my life. He started podcasting in 2007. I was his tech guy. I was his behind the scenes guy. I had to go and buy all the gear and microphones and learn how to use it very early on, so that when he came back to Jersey from his home in LA, that he would have a podcast set up. So I learned very quickly how to engineer podcasts, how to edit, how to get them distributed. And after about 3 years of just engineering his podcast, he came to me and was like, hey, I want you to start your own podcast. And I didn't even want to do it. I'm a behind the scenes guy. I make people sound cool. But I never considered myself a personality. But he asked me to do it. I was reluctant at first, but then I did it, and I fell madly in love with it. So much so that I love podcasting so much that I want to show everybody else in the world how to do it.
Yeah, podcasting's awesome. Yeah. I've done a little bit myself. Obviously not on your level. I've seen a bunch of your stuff. It's honestly really, really good what you've done.
Thank
you.
But
I'm starting small, so we'll see where it goes in the future.
Sure.
All right. I know throughout your career you've worked on many projects in many different areas. So my question is, what has been your favorite project and why?
Man, I've worked on a lot of stuff from, podcasts, been in a couple movies, but I think my favorite thing that I've ever worked on is the TV show Comic Book Men. It's the one that I'm probably most well known for, and I'm pretty proud of it. We had 7 seasons, got 96 episodes, and I got to be myself. It was a reality TV show shot in New Jersey, and I think we put the state of New Jersey in a very good light. The show was seen worldwide, so I think people saw Jersey. It's like, oh, that's cool. I want to visit New Jersey. I want to go to the places that are depicted in there.
Yeah.
But really, I'm also proud that I got to be me, Ming. I got to play myself. Wasn't really a character, and the TV show was based on the world of comic books. So I feel like not only did we spread the love of pop culture and comic books to other people, but a lot of people who maybe fell out of comic books for a while got really way back into it. So I love that I got to pass on something that I love to do onto millions of other people. And I think since we got to do so many episodes, I guess we did okay. So, and a lot of people, I really love it when people, grandmothers down to little kids, tell me that how much they love it. So I think that's the thing I'm most proud of.
That must be an amazing feeling. I really can only imagine how that has just done stuff for you.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. So now, Ming, I know on social media you post a lot about different comic conventions you attend. What has been your favorite convention you've been to and why?
So I've been to pretty much every comic book convention out there. It was one of the perks of being on a comic book based TV show. So to pick one, that's a tough question. Now I've been to the 2 big ones, which are New York Comic Con and San Diego Comic Con. So those get upwards of 200,000 plus people over a weekend. But there are other ones I love as well. There's one in Houston called Comic Palooza that I really like. There's one in Kansas City called Planet Comic Con that I really like. It's really hard to pick just one. They have so many different personalities, different feelings. I probably go with the one in Houston that I really like. It's called Comic Palooza. I met a lot of great celebrities there, made a lot of great friends there. I think that convention has had a huge impact on the community, and I just really love the fandom down there. They say everything's bigger in Texas. That con's in Houston, and they're right about that.
Yeah, comic conventions are awesome. I've been to a few small ones myself, just locally, but they're honestly such a fun environment just to be in. So many people that are just there for the same stuff you're there for, and it's just so nice to meet people and talk to them about just things you're passionate about.
Yeah, they're passionate. You see a lot of cosplay. There's gaming. There are panels. There are vendors. It's really fun.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right, this is a follow-up. Do you know how many of you've actually ever been to?
That's a great question. I've lost count at this point. By my last estimation, I think I've crossed over 300 at this point.
Wow.
So I've been doing them for about 10 years, and I looked at average anywhere from 25 to 30 a year. So at this point, I have been over 300 Comic-Cons at this point. And they've all been fun. A lot of them have invited me back, which is a good testament. I guess I must be a good guest. And I truly love going to them. I guess if I didn't, I wouldn't have gone to 300 of them, right? So.
Yeah, I feel like after 200, if you didn't enjoy it, you're probably
I'm gonna stop doing this. But I think it's something I really, really look forward to.
Yeah. So how does it feel to be able to own 2 different businesses? And how do you tell us a little bit more about them? How do they make you feel? Just in general?
For sure. I never pictured myself as a business owner when I was younger, but as I went through, I was like, you know what, it'd be fun to start your own thing and be your own boss, and follow the shots. And it's still a learning process. I'm still making a lot of mistakes. So I have 2 different businesses right now. One is a place called the Shared Universe Podcast Studio. It is a series of podcast studios in the New Jersey area where I've built out studios for podcasting. So people come down, they rent it by the hour to create their podcast. We help them get launched. We help them edit. We help them market. We also teach classes. And occasionally we get out of the studio. We go to schools and teach kids how to podcast, or even adults. Wow. We'll go to corporations. And I saw podcasting not only as a big thing that's taking over the world, but something that's accessible to everybody. So I was like, hey, if this is if everybody could do this, then this could be a viable business. But I also have a lot of fun doing it as well. So first and foremost. The other thing is I mentioned Houston before in the comic book convention down there. Through that, I became a partner in a gaming cafe called Coral Sword. And we just had our 6-year anniversary down there.
Wow.
And it's great. I recently went down there for the anniversary celebration. The place was full of people enjoying coffee, playing games like Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh, and also playing games like Mario Kart and Smash Brothers. So it is a really, really fun environment full of things that I love. And yeah, things are going well. So I guess that must be a good testament. But I recommend small business ownership for anybody, especially if you have something passionate that you want to pass on to other people.
Yeah, it's a great testament to your ownership. You obviously are a great owner to own two very successful businesses from the sound of it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of work, but you do it because you love it.
Absolutely. All right. So my final question is, what advice would you give to aspiring podcasters or anyone who wants to pursue a creative area in this industry?
The advice I would give is one: if you haven't started, just start. You might be, maybe I don't have the right camera. Maybe you might have a lot of roadblocks holding you back, or maybe you want to make it too perfect. Don't, just start. You'll learn along the way. And people ask me, what do you wish you would have done differently? Like, well, I wish I would have started earlier. So that's one advice I would give to anybody. And two, I tell people now in this day and age, it is really easy to create the content that you want to create. There's no one above you saying, hey, you can't do that. Maybe that's not a good idea. There's no one there discouraging you except for yourself. And I also tell people, take advantage of the technology. Podcasting is basically a radio show. 15 years ago, if you wanted your own radio show, you couldn't do it. You'd have to go to broadcast school. You'd have to get hired by a radio station. And then you couldn't talk about what you wanted to talk about. Now it's so easy. You buy a microphone, a recording device, and you can be online, in an hour. This is something I think we should be taking advantage of. If you want to start your own TV show, 10 years ago you couldn't. You'd have to get money and get on a network. Now you can shoot it on your phone, edit it, get it up on YouTube, possibly have a bigger audience than you would have had if you were on TV. The potential is limitless. And then some people like to go live on Facebook or TikTok and Instagram. 10 years ago, that was impossible. You needed a satellite uplink and all that. Now you hit a button on your phone. So I tell people who have any desire to create, do it. Use your phone. Use whatever you have at your disposal. Get your friends together and just do it. Put it out there. You never know what will happen.
That's amazing advice. Thank you for sharing a bit with us. All right. So before we go, I actually wanted to play a quick game of Would You Rather with you. But here's the twist.
Okay.
Superpowers. We're going to ask you what you would prefer.
Okay, you're speaking my language. Go for it.
All right. First question. Would you rather be able to wield Thor's hammer or have a suit of Iron Man's armor?
So I love technology. I love Iron Man's armor. I love Jarvis. I love Tony Stark. But when you wield that Mjolnir, one, that means I'm worthy. And two, that kind of makes me a god, I guess. So
yeah, it does have a lot of powers that come with it.
Yeah, and I love Chris Hemsworth, his hair. I love Chris Hemsworth's hair. I'm going to go with wielding Mjolnir.
It's a great answer. All right. Would you rather be able to stretch like Mr. Fantastic or be able to transform like Shazam?
Also, you're pulling out the hard ones for me. Shazam is you can kind of transform, become Shazam by uttering the word Shazam. But I'm going with Mr. Fantastic. Stretching, you ever have to reach for a remote or, maybe you want ice cream from the kitchen. You don't want to get up and get it. Well, you don't have to. Plus, Mr. Fantastic is one of the smartest people in the Marvel Universe. I want those brains. I'm going to go with Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards.
You're thinking logically, and you're thinking of very practical uses. I would have never thought. I probably would have just said Shazam because it's cool.
It is cool. We've got a cool costume, but again, ice cream from 3 rooms away. I think that's huge. All
right. Next question. Would you rather be able to be bonded with Genesis from Preacher or be able to wield the right hand of Doom from Hellboy?
Wow, you're going deep here.
I'm pulling out the big guns with this one.
Genesis from Preacher means you kind of have you can kind of command people, but it also has a very dark side to it. Hellboy too, but I love that red right-handed Doom from Hellboy. I'm gonna go with the red right-handed Doom. For sure.
That's a great. Hellboy is an amazing comic. All right. Would you rather be able to teleport like Nightcrawler or be able to run like the Flash?
Wow, both great. Let's see. I was gonna base one or the other because have you ever been on an airplane lately? Airplane travel is not that fun anymore. I'd love to be able to teleport or run really fast. Now, I think with Nightcrawler is you can only teleport where you can see. So you can't say go to Hawaii or Europe, whereas the Flash can run there. I'm gonna go with Barry Allen. the Flash, run really fast. Yeah, he's got to eat a lot to, for all those calories, but I like to eat. So I'm going to go with Barry Allen, the Flash.
All right. Last one. Would you rather be able to have Wolverine's healing factor or Spider-Man's senses?
Oh, man, this is tough because I love that adamantium armor. I love that Wolverine's pretty much indestructible. But I think my own personality, I'm more your friendly, amazing Spider-Man. I love the Spidey sense. And if you throw in the webbing as well and his ability to climb walls and fly around New York City, I think I'm more Peter Parker than Logan, I think. This is a tough one, though. This is a tough one.
So, yeah.
I'm pretty mild-mannered, though, so I think I'm going to go with Peter Parker.
Yeah.
I'm going to be Spider-Man.
All right. Those are all great answers. That's all the questions we have, though. Thank you for playing along, and we wish you the best in everything you do in the future, whether it be. And we do have, if you look right there, we have a golden star with your name on it. This is from everybody at Tech, so we hope you do enjoy it.
You guys are too kind. This is great. This is better than the Hollywood Walk of Fame. This is in New Jersey. This is here in Passaic. Thank you guys so much. This is a huge honor, and this will be displayed proudly wherever I go. Thank you guys so much.
Once again, it was great having you. And from Studio D108A, thanks for watching, everybody.